Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we're here for the first official dunk meter test of NBA 2K26. So, shout out to 2K for bringing me out to Community Days where I was able to record this content. Obviously, it's in San Francisco. Great time. This is my third one I've been to, and I've been blessed every single time to go to these. I mean, just the opportunity to even get this content obviously is one thing, but to be able to meet everybody and just have fun, hang out with like actual friends at this point that I'd even call them, it's a great time for sure. So anyway, let's get straight into the content, but I do have to give one more shout out as well. Double H, he provided me with some content that was really helpful. Toward the end of this video, I'm going to be adding it, and it's going to be even more things for us to be able to lab away at with the dunk meter. In this case, he had so many different people with like Zach LaVine, another Edwards clip. It was like Giannis, a lot of standing dunks with Klingon and Porzingis and stuff like that. So he used a lot of variants of players and stuff like that, and was very kind enough to actually allow me to use his content very willingly too, for that matter. So again, shout out to him, Double H. Feel free to check him out if you somehow don't know his content but know mine. Definitely check him out. But anyway, to get straight into this, what I'm already happy with in just the customized HUD right here is the fact that we can bring our beautiful baby Comet back, bro. I am so happy to have this dunk meter specifically back right here. And on top of that too, to not have the trash that we had in 2K25 anymore. I want to pull it up real quick. I know you guys are here for the new content, but real quick, I just want to show you what we had if you're not familiar, and then show you what we do have now. Alright, so this is 2K25, first impression on the dunk meter. It's literally the first one I got off with Anthony Edwards. And as you can see, what pops up? A meter that doesn't give me any feedback in terms of how the defender is impacting me. The placement of where he's at, I don't know how it impacts it. The interior defense that he has, I don't know how it impacts it. The height that he has, I don't know how it impacts it, because naturally with every repetition that we get on one that actually does give you feedback on how big your green size is in the dunk meter, you'll be able to understand more and more with every rep, as if you're just a robot that keeps downloading more analytical like content with that. In this case though, as you're gonna see, and I gotta fast forward because I'm a yapper in this in this video right here, I get a very late or a very early, and you don't know anything about it. There's no feedback to it, you know? So that's the problem. And same goes for the standing dunks too, you know? So anyway, I just wanted to use that as the example. And now let's get back to this beauty that we got right here, 2K26. So again, I'm not even just trying to hype it up just because it's 2K26 and it's like the new feel of the game, but it's just the fact that this is back. It's something that should have been in the game already in the first place, is not only the customization of just the dunk meter style itself, right, with like the Comet for instance, but then on top of that too, the fact that you can see, oh okay, so LeBron was too far to my left right here, Aiden was out to play, and this guy wasn't close enough at all. So it led to me having a super big dunk meter right here. That's good content to know. It's like good information, and it's the type of stuff that can develop you as a player over time, like I said, with every single dunk that you get. So there's the first look at our contact dunk, and it wasn't really even a contact dunk, to be fair. I got a blow by on one, and then LeBron kind of jumped out the play on the other one as well. So I do, however, want to show you guys me struggling at the very beginning of this. I just wanted to get to that so you could at least like see what the dunk meter looked like in comparison. But in both of these clips right here, I am going for a contact dunk, and I just got kind of taken out of it. Now, the bright side is you can actually time your layups even if you did get kicked out of the dunk. It's just you have to adapt to the fact that you are taking a layup now, obviously. And also, that was only on Pro for that matter too, so it's a little alarming. But now everything that you see from this point on, and also the dunk that we had, obviously, because I just had to rewind a little bit, is on Superstar. So again, struggled to get into the dunk meter right there. I'm probably doing it from pretty far out for that matter, and we're here to really break down a lot of the analytics with this stuff too, of trying to figure a lot of things out. So I'll probably come back to those at the end of the video, but I know you're trying to see, you know, Edwards or me figuratively just bang out right now. So let's get into the actual content here now. So again, we had that dunk right there of like a pretty open one, and it was a very easy one to make, obviously. Now, this is going to have a lot of good stuff in it, so just keep staying tuned. But this right here, it was a little bit more of a flex for me as a player rather than saying the dunk meter's overpowered. let's just get straight into it. So you're going to see me go down the lane, and I'll just let this play out. Tiny dunk meter, it shrinks like crazy. However, I was still able to make it. Now again, we're here to break everything down. I already asked everybody on Twitter, and they all said get deep in with the breakdowns, get real analytical with it. So that's what we're here to do, and I'm here to try and put on for the slasher community and give the best content I possibly can in terms of helping you guys improve as a player, and as well as just understanding it for myself as well. So right here you can see we are attacking pretty much 3 defenders, more like 2. Aiden's out to play behind. However, Luka is in really good guarding position, and LeBron was over here getting into even better guarding position. However, went for the charge. Didn't get the charge, though. Ended up in a flop animation. And then by this point, now Luka is like, you know, deep in on the paint. And this is a tiny, tiny dunk meter. I mean, ridiculously hard to make. And I just so happened to time it well. I mean, that's kind of some dog stuff right there. I'm not going to lie. But however, it's not something that's going to happen consistently. That is a tough look, and we're going to have to live with that because we got to figure out why that's the case and how to deal with it. So, again, in the first place, really heavy traffic. They probably don't like this kind of heavy traffic, and I originally recorded this video and was like very speculative of whether this meter could even get bigger because they said it's an adaptive dunk meter, right? Where when it can change at any given moment, they say. And I was a little bit skeptical of it. However, later in the video, you're going to see that actually come to fruition, and it is a thing. So what that means is, right, I was speculating this, how when LeBron flops, I figured if the traffic was the problem with it, then this figuratively should get bigger because now it's only one guy actually in the picture, and it's just Luka. And at the end of the day, Luka being the only guy guarding you on the dunk meter is a little bit alarming if it's just going to be this small. But I guess the guarding position he's in is just that good, like by their logic. Now, that's a little bit alarming if you ask me. This seems like it's a little tough to make, and that's not the greatest look, if you ask me. It just so happens I made it, right? But if I just barely missed it by even the slightest little bit right there, it would have been off, and we would have been questioning. That doesn't seem like it's the most ridiculous dunk to, you know, end up having at least a better look at. But anyway, I was wondering why the heck I didn't get a replay on this, so I just kind of manually went for it. But again, I know y'all are here for actually seeing the gameplay, so we're not going to spend too much time on this. I'll skip the other one. But anyway, into the next dunk, you can see I'm trying to get into it. However, in this case, you're going to have to really take note of this and think about it because honestly, I could have got into a dunk right here if I just dribbled a little bit differently on this. If you go a little bit more downhill right here, easy, could have got through it. However, when I got that blow by on Aiden right here off the pick and roll, I kind of just took this too wide. And as you can see, kind of just kept veering off, so I got a hop jumper instead of the dunk meter. Obviously, that's just like a mad cuz bad situation, you know? Obviously, I could have done that a lot better, and then I get stalled out on the shot clock and don't get anything off. So, bad look right there. That's mostly on me, though, realistically. And then you're going to see me fast forward in a lot of this stuff. I was just getting unfortunate, like, kind of turnovers and stuff like that. I don't know what the heck I'm doing on here yet with the dribbling, fellas. I mean, let's be real. And then Vanderbilt talking my stuff on the passing lanes, too. You'll see that in the video later today, too, with the My Team. All-Star 5v5 team up. Bro, the passing lanes actually are pretty crazy on here. But anyway, we're finally into some more of like our actual reps on the dunk meter. So into this one, you can see in kind of like secondary fast break, we slow it down a little bit. This one takes a little longer to develop. I have to like use 2 screens to even get open on this. They switched this, and obviously I don't really want to go at Vanderbilt either, so we're just gonna run that screen back and get the Luka switch or get Vanderbilt kind of moving around. And as you can see, we do get the switch, and then this is a really good instance of like another dunk meter that we can get a decent breakdown on as well, because there's a lot of people in the area on this, but in this case it's Marcus Smart getting dunked on. And then we also have DeAndre Ayton that's kind of in the area, but not necessarily getting dunked on. So it's really big right now, but then by the time that Marcus Smart actually gets like into a dunk animation of getting dunked on, gets smaller. Now this is still makeable, but it's still very hard, obviously. But it's still, I would say, bigger than the one that we just had, the one before this. Now, first look, this looks a little bit alarming. It seems like it's going to be hard to just constantly spam dunk meters. I'm telling y'all right now, the slasher stuff that's coming tomorrow is so informative in terms of like the ability to just do more than just spam contact dunks. So I don't think you should go into this year just thinking you want to just mash to the paint on a meter dunk every single time. However, you will see there are still plenty of times that we have left in the video that will show a much more desirable dunk meter than this. And we just have to figure out as a community, and maybe on this video together, what causes these to be so small. Now, I'm here for some speculation, all right? I'm going to offer you guys some theories, and it's not always going to be stuff you want to hear or the most rewarding thing in terms of feeling like it's, you know, a skill-based game at all times, all right? So here's my theory. I think that dunk animations are going to matter a lot. I think the speed on your dunks are going to be huge. I think to negate contests, you're going to want faster things like side clutches off 1, maybe straight arm tomahawks, stuff like that. Maybe quick drops off 1. I think those are going to be really important, and even more so, I think contact dunk animations are going to matter. I'm of the belief, low-key, and this is very deep speculation, all right? So don't think I'm taking this as a fact. It's just me having maybe an hour worth of experience of meter dunking, less than that actually. It's probably like 20 minutes for that matter, of me just speculating that I think that the contact dunk animations that you have are going to create contests because people are in canned animations. To be fair, I'd call that very reckless speculation. I don't want you guys to take that and run with it and think that I'm saying that's like how I for sure feel right now. It's just a theory, at least. So let's continue the breakdowns on this and like see how that kind of comes back if that theory is like existing in your head. All right, but like I'm not here to say that it's factual. I'm not here to say that that's how I 100% believe. It's just a thought that maybe the contact dunk animations, if like someone's lower down to the ground or something like that, and you'll see one later in the video that I'm talking about, creates the opportunity at a bigger dunk meter. Whereas if they're like kind of chest to chest with you, pause, but like if they're chest to chest with you in the air and they're like making really aggressive contact midair, that it seems it's making smaller dunk meters. I'm not sure, but we'll come back to that. Anyway, wanted to come to this dunk as well. So it's obviously, as you can see, going down the lane. We got Vanderbilt trailing, so the best defender I would say on the team is out the play, and now we're actually dunking on the center. This is Ayton right here, and he gets banged on for sure. Now to be fair, he's not the greatest interior defender, but he is still at the end of the day 7 feet tall. So if this means anything to us, it means that size doesn't mean everything in terms of like your height, right? It seems interior defense and placement and like where you're at in a guarding position is going to be a lot more important, because we had Marcus Smart down there and like, you know, technically in better guarding position than this for sure, and he had a much smaller meter as far as like actually trying to bang on him. I don't know how I like that either, because honestly Marcus Smart is like 6'4", 6'3", and not the greatest interior defender. I mean, he's decent for like his height, but I don't know. I'm a little bit questionable in terms of the value of like height in this case, and I think height should matter a little bit. I don't think a 6'3" really should get away with like that kind of interior defense. We'll have to see though. We'll have to see how it continues to develop. But again, Ayton does get banged on right here, and I mean, like, he's out the play. This is like a classic 2K24 instance, right, where like a blinders dunk kind of is the type of thing I'd call that back then. But it's just interesting to me too, because in the adaptive dunk meter, you would think that Ayton getting into this dunk animation would make this smaller by that point. Now, the unfortunate thing about running these types of dunk meters, and I don't think you can really do anything to avoid this either, is that once you get past the point of the green window with your white part of the bar, you can't see where that green window even would be anymore. So for all I know, by the time that I dunk this could have got smaller. Now that's why it's a little unfortunate, and at the end of the day, I still have to be happy with the fact that we can test this analytically. And if I really wanted to, I could just hold the meter down all the way and get a late every single time and just see what it would have ended up being, or even get it early so that I could just see what exactly the green window stays at the entire time. And that's the type of stuff that we can test at the very least, and I'm happy about that. All right, so I'm looking forward to that, and we can at least like get some real good testing in this. Anyway, moving along to the next one. This is gonna be our last clip from Edwards, just from me personally, and this is the one that I was telling you about earlier in the video, that this is the adaptive dunk meter of like it actually changing on the fly in terms of the size of it. So I just go kind of rack attacking. I'm trying to just limit test, see what we can do, and as you can see, we drive right at Reeves. He's in great guarding position right now, and I get a dunk meter from way far out, right? Like with him just bodying me up. This is a reasonably terrible take, right? Like this, I'm like really low on stamina. I got 2 bars, and I'm trying to do this from pretty far out while he's already bodying me up. However, you can see the dunk animation pushes him out the way, and the meter actually gets bigger by the time that I actually go for the finish on this. So that's interesting. I'll let this play out full speed so you can see it. And to be fair, this isn't Reeves actually getting contact dunked on, because he technically just gets pushed out the way and then a new guy gets contact dunked on. So I might have said that wrong. But anyway, you can see once again, gets pushed out the way. He gets taken out the play pretty much entirely. I'm assuming he's now a non-factor in this because he's not going to be jumping or anything like that. And then we get into a contact dunk on a new guy. I don't really know who this is. I'm pretty sure that's not Connect. He's 4. And then like I really don't know who 12 is. Probably Lariva or something like that, or I don't know. A new guy on the team, pretty sure. But anyway, as you can see, get into the contact dunk with him. But that was at least like good to see, is that the meters started really small in this like initial gather, if you will. Then when he gets pushed out the way, it now is responding to a new player's contact dunk interaction, and now we are able to get like a meter that was probably about right here realistically, because again the white part is going to cover it up and make it a little bit hard for you to see. But yeah, probably a respectable meter. And as you can see, I make it too, and obviously contact dunk on him right there. So good ball. I like what I'm seeing out of that for sure, and I think it's promising at the very least. But anyway, now you're gonna see a couple of clips of ours right here where I'm gonna try and get to the dunk meter, and it's just gonna be a bad take that I end up getting a pretty small one on. Let's just see how it goes, right? So we get the backpack animations on these a lot, and what I mean by the backpack animation is you can see he has good guarding position on me, but then the contact dunk itself like crabs him and puts him figuratively as a backpack on me, and he's just like stuck behind. Now these were both, as you're gonna see the next one too, very makeable dunk meters. It's just that the creep of the speed kind of gets me right here. Like, it's a very fast dunk and it's hard to adapt to. So we'll just play it out. As you can see, hard to respond to that, obviously. It's like really quick. And again, the more repetition you get on something like that, the easier it will become. When you can expect that rather than just it being unexpected so much, obviously it's a little hard to react to. But again, more repetition could at least make this a little bit easier of an outcome to like make right for you. But again, another backpack dunk meter, and again, I just wasn't ready for it again. You can see I late both of them, and that's just how it is. So I know it looks a little bit questionable in terms of like, our dunk meter is going to be good? Is it going to be easy? Again, a lot of this is limit testing, fellas. Let's be real. Like, I'm taking intentionally bad takes sometimes, and it looks bad because it is a bad take. Like, you shouldn't just be forcing a dunk meter on every single thing you could possibly do. I'm just limit testing to see where can we go wrong, what's like a good take, what's a bad take, stuff like that. Exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the video of like, at least now we have the information of being able to test these types of things. So don't take this too much to heart of like it being completely dead. Not to mention, let's be real, he's in good guarding position. He's got me cut off. I'm dunk meter from super far away while my stamina is super low. Just even being able to get into a dunk animation right here, and also it got bigger as I eventually got him into the, you know, the crab, if you will, with the backpack. That's even more interesting too, off the fact that that is a contact dunk animation. So maybe that's alluding to the thing I was just talking about, how, you know, the contact dunk itself like gets it to be a little bit bigger, and the animation he gets canned into kind of leads to me having a better chance at making it. But I don't know. Once again, we'll leave that to a little bit of speculation, and we're not exactly sure how that's going to go. So anyway, a lot of the other ones, like I said, I'm missing a lot of these. Now that time it was like slower and I just wasn't ready for it. So now I'm just going into traffic and trying to bang on Vanderbilt, who's again a pretty solid interior defender. It was all just stuff I wanted to show you guys of me limit testing and just it going wrong. And then by this point, like, I was really getting sped up. We were at the end of the community day stuff. I was trying to get a little bit of gameplay that I could post on day one, because a lot of the stuff I'm going to be doing, fellas, is like all about tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. Like, I am all in on the My Player Builder stuff and the build tester. I was in there so I could do the animation changing a whole lot easier and like actually test every dribble style, every floater, like, and this is for bigs, guards, wings, everything. So I was just really focused on that, and then eventually the builder as well, after I knew the type of animations that I wanted to see on those builds. So all things considered, I didn't have a whole lot of footage for day one, and I wanted to obviously have something. So we got into this, you know, play now game and just was trying stuff. And as you can see, then I just get a contested layup while I'm cold on like no stamina. So I was just going to quit out after this point. Dudes were already asking me to get off like 2 times. I was being a pain to the people there at the event. So just call it there. You know, I didn't want to be too much of a nuisance. So anyway, thankfully though, we got Double H willing to share some content with us. And I think Double H has some very breakdownable clips, if I will, if that's even a word. His clips are very worth looking at, and with like intention of like wanting to lab and understand what we can see out of these outcomes. So anyway, he has the Zach LaVine on the drive with Edwards on him. Shakes him off with a really good crossover. So LaVine even having that good of a crossover is definitely worth note in terms of the animations. And then as you can see, with Gobert near as well, and I love the clips that he was able to get because it was very like good information. So with Gobert near, and we'll get this even to the point of when he's dunking the ball. Gobert near was like not necessarily in the play right here, or impacting his dunk, if we will. So proximity is not the end all be all by any means. It seems like being around as a guy with like, let's say, you know, Hall of Fame paint patroller or whatever he has, and like 98 block, 99 block, and like super high interior defense like Gobert does, it's not the end all be all. And also for that matter, he got Edwards in not great guarding position. He's on his side while he's dunking, and as you can see, gets into a contact dunk on Edwards right there. Boom. Makes it with a lot of room to spare for that matter too. Now, granted, this is a different dunk meter than me. I think it's funnel, if I'm not mistaken, and I have Comet, so just keep that in mind. Obviously, it'll look a little bit different. So, out the corner, Edwards driving at Levine, gets him kind of on his hip. You can see though, it starts really small, but once again, he gets into the dunk animation and it gets bigger. Now, this is where I'm telling y'all, I was speculating a little bit on this, and I think this is a good example right here. So the thing I was talking about, right, with like some animations maybe being better than others at creating big dunk meters for you versus like small dunk meters for you, is the canned animation that the people are going to get put in, I think might matter quite a bit. So again, Levine right here, yes, I understand, is making it a small meter currently, but the animation itself, I believe, is not allowing Levine to really like contort his body any differently. Now, to be fair, if it's a user, maybe they can jump out of this. Maybe it'll be more interactive. Maybe you can actually like get yourself out of the canned animation, if you will, right? But in this case, it's getting bigger, and as you can see, Levine is kind of hitting him with like a, oh, all right, I don't really want to get put in this poster, like, you know, real life animation, I guess, like that people would do. I call it real life animation. You know what I mean? In real life, dudes would be like, oh, I ain't really jumping with him. I'm not gonna block this. I'm not about to get put on a poster. And that's what the animation is, and it seems to me like a contact dunk, right? So I'm a little bit speculative and a little bit worried that like I don't want it to be RNG, like can I get a good animation to happen, right? I hope that it's more position based and like, or positioning based, and that like maybe some of these things can interact with like the defender a little bit differently based on if they're in good position or not. We'll have to see though, man. Like I said, it's just not enough reps, and I'm glad to even have what we do have. But again, the more that we get of this, the more we'll understand it as well. So am I going to put a stamp on this that it's a bad dunk meter or a good dunk meter game yet? Probably not. But it's giving me like 6 out of 10 vibes right now. You know what I mean? Now, the positive though is, like I said, there's a lot more slasher stuff in this game. I don't think you should just ramrod your way to the hoop every single time and think that that's the way you should be slashing in this game. There is so much customization of the fact that we can put any floater, any euro, any spin, any hop, and even still have the dunk meter in your bag. And the fact that you can transition in from those gathers into meter dunks potentially. I'm not positive on that yet, but I think if that's possible, it could be nasty. But we'll have to look at that again. I'm so ashamed that I did not find that out for a fact, though. I absolutely should have. I just forgot, and it's unfortunate. But if you can transition from gathers into meter dunks, oh, it'd be so nasty. And hypothetically, I can see it being possible. Like, it's not a crazy thing to not believe on your controller that it even could happen. But anyway, Double H fortunately got a lot of standing dunk meter clips too, so let's go ahead and look at these as well. So Klingen, the one in the first clip right here, I believe has like somewhere between probably 85 standing dunk to like maybe 88, 90, something like that. Either way though, the thing about the meter dunk of standing in 2K25 was, and like 24 even for instance, is that it gave you a lot of time on the gather. You flicking up and holding down allowed you a lot of time to kind of like buffer between like, you know, when you started the mechanic and when it actually pops up on your screen. Problem with this is it's really fast. Now, I don't think they look small. Like, it looks easy enough to meter dunk as long as you can get the timing on it. But man, you got to be prepared for this stuff because it's super quick. The other problem with it too, let's go ahead and like do this in like frame by frame, kind of slow it down, right? You can see it's on the way up and it's really fast. By this point, he hasn't even dunked the ball yet. Like, it's not even possibly like in the hoop, and it's already way on the way down. It's already very late. So you need to understand when you're doing these that you're not doing this with a visual cue of the ball in hand. It has to be the meter. You cannot just sit here and think that the ball going through the hoop is your visual cue and you don't need to look at the meter. That is an absolute lie. Do not expect that. And if anybody ever tells you to use the ball as a visual cue, they are lying. That's the dumbest thing ever. Because again, this right here, super fast. You got to be prepared for it. And again, if you were watching the ball, it's a very late all day. So be ready for fast standing meter dunks if you're on that, and like really be on top of it. And I've told you guys in the past that I think like slow standing dunk animations can be good for you, but that's only if you're someone that really wants to meter them. If you are someone that's willing to just be on X button timing, stuff like that, when it comes to your standing dunks, obviously hitting people with like pump fakes into like being able to go up right away again after the player's already jumped is a pretty big deal. So it's tough to say, man, if you want like slow dunk animations for more reliable meter dunk timing, or if you want to just run fast ones, adapt to the fact that it's going to be something you can do quickly. And Again, really remember, fellas, you only have to hold down on the stick now. It is not the flick up, hold down, Mortal Kombat combos or anything like that. You're truly just holding down on your stick. And the cool thing that you're gonna see in I guess it's not exactly the next clip, but let's just let this play out to where we can actually get to the clip I'm looking for. Or a matter of fact, I'll just skip to it since it's already on my mind. Double H sent us a clip right here of Garland and Mobley running a pick and roll, and as you can see, he throws the ball to Mobley. Now, in previous years, like 2K24, I think 23 maybe even as well, I was able to preload meter dunks, and what I mean by that is while the ball was midair like this right now, I'd be already ready to like flick up, hold down. And what it would do is it would allow you to get into the meter dunk the very instant that you were able to as the ball's in your hands. Now, in 2K25, they took this ability away from you and you no longer could do that, and you'd have to sync up your timing of now flicking up and holding down at the perfect time, and it makes it hard to catch it in stride and get driving meter dunks on a pick and roll or a cut or anything like that. In this case now, as you can see, the clip that Double H sent right here, he's holding down on the stick already as he's rolling to the hoop with Mobley and gets that meter dunk instantly and actually gets a standing dunk on it as well. Doesn't even have to really like glide into it and get a driving dunk. I think that's maybe more because of where he caught the ball that it kind of just stopped him. And also, the power of that is that if you would have had to stop and catch first before going up with it, you can see the guy off the corner is dropping a little bit. He wouldn't have got there anyway, but Zion maybe could have recovered as well. But with you doing this and being able to preload the meter dunk, it keeps the trailing defender out of the way of a chase down block, more likely, and then keeps dropping defenders out of the way of being able to impact that as well. So really big deal for sure, man. And I'm glad to know that that's back. I was already speculating that as well when we were like, you know, kind of seeing the news of the fact that that was going to be a thing and back. So I'm excited for sure that that's a thing. Anyway, Porzingis, once again, not the highest standing dunk meter or standing dunk rating, I'd assume. So I'm not taking this way too to heart when it comes to his standing dunk meter. And he almost made this one as well, but it just barely must have missed because it's got to be like right on the edge of the green. If we really rewind like slightly, barely, and like get the perfect image of this, you can see where the green is kind of sitting at. And it's believable that it's like just barely off it as well. So unfortunate, obviously, but hey, like I said, you'll run into stuff like this. And again, if you want to be on the standing meter dunk stuff, it's possible too that you just need more than 90. I mean, like realistically, we don't look at 90 3-pointer as like a unbelievable rating, you know? We don't look at 90 ball handle as an unbelievable rating. It's good, but it's not like game breaking or anything like that. What's the problem in 99 standing dunk maybe being a necessity to actually be an elite standing dunker? I mean, we're just so used to it, I think, because it's been a thing for the last like 3 years of for you to standing meter dunk, you just need 90 and that's it, right? And anything lower than like 85 can't even really do it. Maybe 80 can barely, but like, you know, it's going to be ugly. And then it's really like been a threshold of 85 to 90, and that's all anybody does. And that's because in previous years it kind of capped out at that. 90 really like didn't look any different than 99. But maybe it's, I don't know, I think that could be a beautiful thing if they actually bring value to 99 driving dunk or 99 standing dunk or something like that to actually be able to get good animations. Now, I don't know that for a fact. Don't take my word to heart with that, because obviously I don't know. I didn't play with like a 99 standing dunk build or anything like that, or, you know, have the opportunity to do so. So we'll have to wait for that on speculation. I'm just saying that could be a good thing for the game. But anyway, shout out to Giannis dribble style. Also, this thing is really clean moving toward ball hand. You're going to see it in tomorrow's videos. Really big deal. He technically didn't do a dribble move before it, so it technically doesn't do it. And also, Giannis is just super fast himself as well. And obviously, super freak lanky. Like, it's just him being him. But anyway, you can see right here, crazy range on this one. Look at the takeoff distance and how he's just flying up in the air. That is just some classic Giannis stuff right here. But you can see on this one, he nudges Obi Toppin out the way on the drive and then gets put into a meter dunk on Nembhard, who is a guard. He's probably like around 6'4", 6'5", something like that. I'm pretty sure. Not the greatest interior defender or anything like that. So he ends up getting into a meter dunk with him, makes it. But once again, that is low-key kind of a hard meter dunk for the sake of how small this defender is. And that he's right underneath the hoop too. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm very undecided on how I feel about this meter dunk so far. And every time I feel like that, I just want to keep reminding you guys that I do think a lot of the finishing stuff is going to come back to the fact that you can be very versatile with it. Also, keep in mind too, he's blinking on his stamina right now too. So, I mean, like, there's a lot of factors that can go into this stuff. And again, the more reps, the more we'll understand it in the future. I'm just trying to make the best of what we have right now for information and do a lot of inferencing and like guesswork, if you get what I'm saying, and like theories, sort of, that can lead us to a lot of good information into the future of actually having the full access of the game. And also, again, Double H was being smart, actually, like, looking at all of his, he was looking at the settings right after he would do dunks to just prove he was on Hall of Fame as well, which, hey, understandable if you're going to be on Hall of Fame and dealing with the threat of it. You don't want people speculating your clips and saying, like, oh, this dude was on Pro, he's on Rookie. Nope, he's on Off, for sure. He's making sure that he's hitting the proof on that. But anyway, right here we have a bad meter dunk, and obviously it's like just a tough take. And again, limit testing, that's what I'd consider this. I mean, we're once again a little bit low on stamina. We're getting Obi Toppin into the hoop, but it's like, you know, he's got really good guarding position again, and it gets even smaller too. I wonder if it's because Siakam's getting his hand in the way, or once again if it's like this is good contact on a contact dunk animation, like the defender's making good contact on him. I hope that's not the case, man. I hope it was Siakam getting his hand in there, but I don't know. I mean, Gobert did kind of the same thing and didn't have any impact at all. So, I don't know, man. We really might be playing in a game where the contact dunk animations matter. That's just my theory. Again, I don't want to put proof on that, and I've said that like 8 times, and y'all are probably getting tired of hearing it, but I don't know. That's just my theory, potentially. But anyway, into the next clip, we have Ja Morant going at Jaylen Brown off the corner. So this is like a 5-out sort of clip, right? I know there's not technically 5 like offensive players out because the inbounder's probably still coming up the court, but this type of thing you would see in a 5-out offense of getting a blow by on your on-ball defender and then the corner dropping. Now, to be fair, see, this is this type of stuff we got to talk about, right? Because in game, the right thing to do would be to dot right here. But again, it's limit testing. He's here to get contact dunk clips, so what's he going to do? Go for contact dunks. It's going to look bad, right? And honestly, it even looks good right now. But then when Jaylen Brown gets put into the actual contact dunk animation, it gets a little harder. So, but the right thing to do, obviously, if you're playing like competitively right here, would be to just dot the corner. Or if the wing was already like closer to this, it would have been to dot the hash. And like Derek White would have been already rotating, because as you can see, he is. And they're doing a nasty rotate. Like the CPU is actually ready for this stuff as well, because the defender, the 5th guy's not off the court yet. But again, a little bit of limit testing, and he gets the dunk off on Jaylen Brown right here, and it looks pretty decent. Again, it seems to change a lot based on the fact that like he got put into the contact dunk animation. I don't know. Again, well, I really hate that I keep saying we'll have to see and like keep speculating on how it looks with the contact dunk animations changing the contests. But yeah, that's just the truth. We'll have to see. Anyway, this final clip he gets with Jokic right here, hits a drop step. I think this is Mark Williams. I'm pretty sure, who has a pretty good block rating. I'm not really sure if his interior defense is like great, but his block for sure would be. Anyway, point being, no adrenaline, down to about half bar of stamina. By the time he actually gets into the dunk, he's blinking, and it's still like makeable for that matter. It's definitely not great though, but he almost got this. Almost. It seems once again like the Porzingis clip, it was just barely off. So again, shout out to Double H for even sending me clips of him missing dunks. You could have easily just been a guy that's like, you know, trying to manipulate the content and just be like, yeah, bro, I was banging out, I was being a dog on the dunk meter and stuff like that. At the end of the day, we're all here for like content and just like to prove that the game is what it is and just figure out how to play it. You know, I'm not trying to like flex myself either when I'm like, you know, showing these clips. We're showing our failures and we're showing the successes, and it's a lot more about just gathering data, and that's what I think is super important. On that note, I did tell y'all we were going to come back to the clips right here. We'll skip the one on Pro because why even care about that really, but let's go to the one on Superstar that I didn't get put into a dunk animation. I think the easy speculation here would be that I did it from too far out, but honestly I got backpack dunk animations from this same exact range, so that's kind of tough to say. I can't really exactly put a stamp on it why I didn't get a dunk meter attempt right here. Maybe it's just that Reeves got put into, or like figuratively, if this is a player, right, he jumped at a good time or was already in good guarding position. Or maybe it's just like a, what's the word here? Like a roll, if you will. Like, maybe sometimes you get put into a contact dunk right here and sometimes you don't, because it's already teetering on like the level of shouldn't be 100% replicable. Like, from this range with this guarding position, I understand if sometimes you just can't get into it, sometimes you can. Realistically, if you're holding down on the RT and you like, you know, you're holding down on the right stick and you're trying to get a dunk meter, I think you always should at least get into the meter, even if it was a hard thing to make. But I digress. I don't think that's that much of a problem. And like I told y'all, if you time the layup correctly as you try to get into a dunk meter and end up in a layup instead, you can still make the layup. So for those of you out there that are planning on making slashers and think like, I'm just going to dunk meter everything, I don't need layup. Granted, I kind of go like that sometimes, where I am more okay with like 80 layup, 99 dunk, 80 layup, 96 dunk, something like that. But realistically, it might help to go with layups in this game, because if you get kicked out of the dunk meter at all, you can still make the layup, and it really could help you. It's like a good fallback option, insurance, if you will, where like that's something to be able to depend on if the meter dunk doesn't work out. Now, obviously, the ones that I missed of the meter dunks, like later in this video right here, and we'll just like kind of use as reference, layup's not helping you right here, obviously, right? Like I didn't get kicked out of it this time, even though it was an awful dunk meter. Like, so I'm not here to say it's going to bail you out of every awful take you take, but it will definitely help you on the ones that you never got into a dunk meter or got ripped out of them as well. So it's definitely worth noting. But anyway, that's all video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all that good stuff. Like always, tries 1 to 1,000 likes, 2,000 likes. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, put Laker or put Dunk in the comments to show your support to my way all through. Again, shout out to Double H for even letting me get the access to his content. I probably wouldn't have made this video without him sending those, to be real with y'all. So like, I'm really hyping him up right here. He helped me a ton with this. And Tea Time was offering to. He sent it while I'm literally recording the video though, and I think the Double H clips are enough. If you know what, if I look at his clips and there was something absolutely worth that we didn't even address in these right here, I'll add it right now. Okay, well, I'd certainly say this is something worth putting in the video. He's on Wemby right here, on like the Triple Threat Online. It was like a tournament that he was in. I think he might have won it low-key too, but anyway, shout out to Tea Time for this. It's TTYME in case you're curious on that. I'll probably link everybody that I've mentioned in the video on the description as well in this. But anyway, point being, he's blinking red on Wemby right here. Gets him underneath the hoop in dead zone while blinking red and on one adrenaline bar. Got the meter dunk to go. This is the most confusing thing I've ever seen though, bro. What the heck is this? It's like it glitched back, or as if he just timed it well, I guess. But the meter seems to like kind of glitch kind of weird though. Am I not right? You know what I mean? Like it like snaps down and comes back up to the top right there. But either way, he greened it. I don't know what's up with the visual on that, but that is crazy though. Blinking red. This is like a pretty tight game too, 16-18, and just bang, greened underneath the basket, standing dunk as well. Also, I have a clip of the lob that I'm just going to post in the other video from myself that's like part of the All-Star Team Up 5v5 gameplay. But while we're here and Tea Time sent me this, I might as well show y'all this too. This is a alley-oop to Wemby that he had in this triple threat game. And as you can see, it is going to pop up different buttons for you. Again, this is going to be posted in my own video as well. But this is triangle to finish an alley-oop. And that was the same case for me too. Oddly enough, I saw a lot of triangles and not a lot of anything else, aka Y button on Xbox. So I'm a little skeptical of that too. I hope they have that figured out, right? Because it'd be stupid if it was just Y as the only thing to finish alley-oops. But again, I've seen a ton of these, but he timed that really well. He got that like with ease, with a ton of room to spare. But yeah, they are harder for sure. You'll see in the gameplay tomorrow. Or not even tomorrow, later today. Everybody was missing alley-oops. I connected on 1 out of 2, I guess. And I'm on Xbox too, naturally. So to have no color coding on these buttons on this freaking P5 controller, and then on top of that, the buttons on the controller itself, the face of them, doesn't have any, it's crazy. It's insane. But anyway, shout out to Tea Time for the clips. Appreciate him. Okay, just made the cut. So if there was, it would be right now. But if not, then we're just gonna end the video right here. And I hope y'all enjoyed. And feel free to check out the other one today too. We have the My Team All-Star Team Up where it's 5v5. I was playing on Wilt, and that's probably gonna upload in like an hour from now or something like that. Or maybe I already uploaded it before this video as well. I'm not sure how I want to go about that process yet. So definitely check out the All-Star Team Up. It's 5v5, 5 users against each other as if it's Pro-Am or Rec Center. And that's the other video that's going to drop for today. I believe that's all. I could be mistaken. I might get to a different one as well. We'll see. But those should be the 2 videos for today. And then everything else that I have for content will be tomorrow or after. And I'm going to be trying to pump them out like crazy for like the tomorrow and the day after probably. So anyway, that's all video. Hope you all enjoyed. Other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.